But topping the headlines is the war of words between the White House and Senator John Kerry, who, by the way, isn't even running in this year's election. Well, it began with a botched joke meant to be about President Bush's management of the war in Iraq.
We're here to talk about education, but I want to say something before that. You know, education, if you make the most of it, you study hard, you do your homework, and you make an effort to be smart, you can do well. If you don't, you get stuck in Iraq.
Now, could it be that Vietnam vet John Kerry really thinks our soldiers enlisted because they're stupid? Well, that's what the White House wants you to think.
Senator Kerry not only owes an apology to those who are serving, but also to the families of those who have given their lives in this. This is an absolute insult.
The members of the United States military are plenty smart, and they are plenty brave, and the senator from Massachusetts owes them an apology.
No, but you've all heard Senator Kerry's response that it was Bush he meant, who didn't learn the lessons of history and thus stumbled into Iraq. But no matter, the nastiness and word battles continue. But now that we're on the subject about absolute insults and apologies owed, let's get a little more substantive. Let's drop the campaign rhetoric and opportunistic spin and look at some serious facts. First, remember this.
Combat operations in Iraq have ended. In the Battle of Iraq, the United States and our allies have prevailed.
That was May 2nd, 2003, about 2,753 U.S. casualties ago. Was the president mistaken, or was it a cynical play to the American people? How stupid did he think we were? Well, the troops and the American people deserve an apology for this gross misjudgment. And contractors like Halliburton and others who've ripped off the U.S. time and again. While our troops come home with missing limbs or post-traumatic stress disorder, the administration's favorite private companies are coming home with billions of dollars. One such company, called Custer and Battles, took the U.S. for $50 million by repainting old forklifts and passing them off as new ones. They were never charged with a crime. The U.S. Justice Department has declined to join in a taxpayer lawsuit against them. Our troops risk their lives while companies friendly to our government rip us off blind. I don't want an apology. I want prosecutions. The weapons that kill our troops, some of them will be U.S. owned, since almost 500,000 just went missing recently in Iraq, and no one will take responsibility. American troops getting killed with American weapons? That's an insult. And what about troop levels? One general said we needed 750,000. A RAND Corporation report told our Secretary of Defense we needed 500,000 troops to preserve the peace. Former Ambassador Paul Bremer told Donald Rumsfeld, quote, "I think you should consider this." Rumsfeld never even replied. Sending too few troops to a dangerous war, definitely worth an apology. Now, May 18th, 2003, the Justice Department tells the White House that 6,600 police advisors are needed in Iraq. President Bush sends one, this guy, disgraced former NYPD Commissioner Bernie Kerik. Ignoring the Justice Department and sending one crony to do the job of 6,000, an insult. Former NFL player turned Army Ranger Pat Tillman. He joined up for the noblest of reasons. His move from football to the war on terror was a public relations dream come true for the Defense Department. He was killed by friendly fire in Afghanistan, but that's not how the Army played it. They changed the story, burned his uniform, buried evidence, and awarded him a medal. Pat's family is still trying to get to the truth. Using a man's life as a PR tool, that's a big insult. The veterans, at the end of World War II, hundreds of thousands of them lined up to register for a free college education, no money down mortgage, and vocational training, compliments of the original GI Bill. Well, today our troops are coming home to slashed benefits, empty bank accounts, and maxed out credit cards. For Iraq War veterans, college tuition tops out at $36,000 for a four-year degree. Not enough for most state colleges, nowhere near enough for top private schools. Should a smart, gifted war veteran settle for any less? National Guard vets, used more in this war than ever before, they get 27% of that amount. Finally, the fallen. The Air Force is now seeking $50 billion in emergency funds to continue bringing home troops that were wounded and killed in Iraq. Emergency funds? Didn't somebody think this through? With almost three-quarters of the country unhappy with the war in Iraq, the president should be addressing the concerns of the troops, the vets, and the people, instead of distracting us with false indignation over Kerry's stupid joke. It assumes we're stupid, uneducated, and uninformed. And for that, Mr. President, I think we all deserve an apology. That's the Crier Wire.